three facilities and the host of the direct sales offices and the representative offices across 30 different cities within the country. We are actually carrying about the activities, and we have two international sales offices at Sharjah and Singapore. I'm based out of Gandhinagar, and this particular region is looked after by the Calcutta office. And when we talk of the instrumentation and the automation, as I said, Cassibus is established in the year 1975. And when we were established, we established actually with the mission to bring in the digital technology within the country, manufacturing technology within the country. And with that particular mission, we have actually developed various products, and since inception, steel and temperature has been actually the two major areas of the segments for us. When I talk of the steel, we work very closely with SAIL, Tata's, and various other steel industries. And I will actually date back to the year mid-80s also, where after actually the Russian Soviet Union disintegration, there was a lot of requirement actually within the same units to come up actually with the import substitution of various instrumentation and automation products. And Cassibus took up those opportunities with in-house R&D to develop and design and develop the products related to those activities. I will not today go into the various automation things. We are involved into automation of various plant equipments, as well as actually the plant-wide systems and solutions. But my today's topic, which I have decided, is to talk about the temperature measurement. And when we talk of the temperature measurement, there are two kinds of measurement that we can actually think of. One is a contact type measurement, and the another one is actually a non-contact temperature measurement. I will not be actually talking on the contact measurement because it's kind of a commodity today, and there are various good manufacturing technologies available within the country. But when it actually comes to the non-contact temperature measurement, I would like to share some of my experiences today in this particular presentation, because there has been various different experiences by the steel users, and when I actually span across the different users, small and big within the different industries, this particular technology has been used in various different ways, and it has actually been successful at a lot of places, but also has actually not been successful at a lot of places. And because of the not getting a success into this, people have actually lost faith into measurement of non-contact infrared temperature, and the reasons why actually the infrared non-contact temperature measurement can fail. I will actually put in few slides for the discussions and actually for the analysis, because once the application is not very clear, once the steel industry dynamics are actually pretty clear, it makes it easy for the selection of this particular kind of instrumentation. So with that particular objective, I will start off actually the presentation today. I will not get into a lot of theories of the infrared, but we have a stall here at the E-Pavilion. We can discuss more for anyone actually who are interested in each of this. But then I'll certainly start off actually with some basics. When we talk of the thermal energy, like electricity, the thermal energy is also stored in the matter. Whatever matter, whatever objects you have, the thermal energy is actually stored into the matter. And we talk of this particular matter, the thermal energy is stored in the form of the atoms inside, and at minus 273 degrees, which is actually the freezing point. That's where the temperature measurement actually starts. And definitely infrared technology have not reached to measure up to minus 273 degrees, but infrared technology available today is able to measure temperature right from minus 45 degrees and can actually go across to more than 2000, 3000 degrees Celsius. Now typically what happens, infrared is basically electromagnetic energy. As your temperature actually starts increasing with different temperatures coming in, the atoms starts actually like, bumping around each other, and because of what's inside that. So typically the wavelength matters a lot when we talk of actually like, measuring the infrared calorimeters. And if we can select the wavelength for the right spectrum, infrared energy is available at all the places. Those sofa covers are generating infrared. This particular computer is generating infrared. Everything is generating infrared. But every surface has particular characteristic, and the infrared is actually generated at a different spectral response. So if you are able to understand what's that particular spectral response, we will be able to understand how to measure that particular the energy with relatively very high accuracy. Overall, if we get into the different components of the infrared, you will have an optics. Definitely it's an optical subject. So there will be an optics that will collect and focus the emitted energy onto a detector. So there will be a detector. You need an optics to actually collect the energies, and for that there will be different types of lenses that include glass, quartz, achromat, germanium, and the zinc. So any of the different types of material to suit a particular application requirement would be available. The next item that is required is to have actually the filters. The wavelength that I was talking of are nothing but actually the filters. I can actually see through this particular, so that way depending on actually